Live show. My name is Andrew Valentin, and as always, we are coming to you live here from the Lombard campus of the Illinois Media School. I hope you are having a wonderful Wednesday night. I know I certainly am, and I know, ladies and gentlemen, we're kind of coming into you guys at a little bit of a late stage here, 8:30. We're trying to shoot for maybe 9, but we thought, what the heck, why not? Let's go a little early. As you guys can kind of see from that time as well, unfortunately, I am kind of by myself. I'm alone here a little bit, but not completely, because with me is one of our newest producers. He's a student here at IMS. He's done a wonderful job, and I highly credit him for being able to be here. This is his first show ever, all on producing, so please give it up for Colin Wegley, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to give him some applause there. I certainly do. Absolutely. Colin, you're doing an excellent job, man. Keep up the good work. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got a good one for you. We got a lot to talk about. I hope you guys are ready for a fun one. We're about to get this started. We're going to kick this off first with NBA talk. That's right. The NBA is officially coming back, ladies and gentlemen. We are currently in the preseasons as of right now. The Bulls are currently battling it out with the New Orleans Pelicans. Hopefully, all is going well on that front. All we can do is kind of hope. Currently, right now, the Bulls are leading actually 77-58. So things are looking strong for the Bulls right now. But on the other side of things going down in the world, of course, when it comes to the NBA, there has been a lot of tension and turmoil that has certainly been rising up through the NBA. And that is, of course, coming from China, right? Which, if you haven't heard this, then, get ready for this one. Because you don't think sports are political. Well, you'd be wrong. Sports always has some sort of cross with politics, right? Colin Kaepernick, certainly. But this one just stretches far beyond anything that you could ever possibly imagine, right? Like, who would have thought the NBA and China would be in a battle over free speech, okay? So just to kind of put you guys through kind of the loop on what's going on here, kind of let you guys know what's going down. Basically, general manager for the Houston Rockets, Daryl Morey, had tweeted out some time ago support of China's movement towards a democracy, Hong Kong's push for democracy, right? And the NBA has since been trying to do a lot with China in terms of trying to up the status there, helping the basketball league there, all that kind of stuff. Well, after this tweet was found, certainly it's hard to find in China because Twitter is actually banned in China from the research we were able to dig up, believe it or not. But the whole tweet basically read, as you guys can probably see, fight for freedom, stand with Hong Kong. So this is all about the pro-democracy protests that are happening right now within the territory. They certainly have, unique freedoms. We will say that. Now, we're not a political show. We're not going to get in on that. This is all about the politics and how this stands with the NBA, right? Because now, because of this tweet, the Rockets have suspended all operations with the Houston Rockets, right? Everything Houston Rockets related has pretty much been banned. All the games that have been shown have been banned. And now it's gone even further because Adam Silver has pretty much said that they apologize for such a thing, and that is that this tweet doesn't really represent the Rockets or the NBA. However, Adam Silver says he will not dissuade players from having their, freedom of speech cut. Because in this country, we have the freedom of speech. It's First Amendment, And unfortunately for that, the Chinese Basketball Association and CCTV5, which is the sports channel in China, they said, well, we're just suspending all ties with the Rockets. But from Adam Silver's statement, and then he made a second statement sort of reiterating it, kind of confirming it even more so, well, it's gone even farther. And now there's even more traction coming out, right? So the leagues are now getting outraged, and now we're finding out that even while look, I give a lot of support to Adam Silver for standing by this, right? Because this is a very serious situation, and there's a lot of criticism because from politicians and celebrities and all that stuff that the NBA is just doing this to save money, right? because the NBA wants to make money, as any league does. But Adam Silver doesn't come out like that kind of guy to me. Now, look, I'm sure they want to, right? NBA is 10% of the NBA's revenue comes from China, and it's expected to go up to 20% by, I believe it's 2030 is the projected outcomes. So you have a lot there that, there's a lot of stir the fire, stir the pot there, and you have over 600 million viewers that come from that were watching last season from China. So you want to make sure that there is a conserved effort to try and keep those fans there. I understand what politicians are saying, but they're looking at this on the political level, right? From just a basis of basketball, I mean, look, I don't think Daryl Morey's tweet, I don't think it should be taken so far into context. Now, obviously, that's easier said than done, right? Because now anything you say can be taken out of context and can be used in some sort of manner, right? I mean, how many people sometimes have their words twisted so that all of a sudden it's now a political statement, right? You hear one person say something from the crowd, and all of a sudden that becomes sort of a momentum for people to kind of push forward, right? Again, we are not a political show, but this is the type of stuff that happens. And these are the type of things that you have to be worried about, especially with social media. Social media is a free-forming platform for everybody to be able to say whatever they want. That is both good and bad. That is both good and bad. And at the end of the day, it's not easy to kind of judge how this thing should be monitored. Hopefully, you would hope the bad can be swept away and the good can be there. But to everybody, there is good and bad in everything that's said now, and it becomes very difficult, right? It becomes a very difficult situation. So, I mean, look, at the end of the day, we have to remember that this is also still a very touchy subject, too, because obviously there is a political climate building up within China between the U.S. and China and Hong Kong and all that stuff, right? A lot of people, I've heard some politicians even be like, well, this could escalate to war. Basketball lead to war, really? I don't know about that. That seems like a far stretch. But then again, who knows, right? The slightest thing can set people off. Losing a basketball game can sometimes, soccer, right? Soccer is so political. There have been world leaders that have been taken out because the team can't win. There are drug lords that have killed people because their team doesn't win. It happens. It's shocking to hear that, but it happens all the time. This is one of those things that you have to be very cautious with, and we have to make sure that all the information is there and everything, because you don't know what the next – it's hard to say what the next step is in all this, right? It's hard to say what the next move is in all this, right? Because how does the NBA proceed now to make sure that they appease this entire country of people that unfortunately are kind of overseen by a group of individuals who believe that things are only supposed to be happening this way, right? It's tough. It's tough. Look, and when it comes to, I am all about freedom of speech, right? I mean, if I want to be able, I don't want anybody to be able to censor my say and be like, you know what, Jay Cutler sucks. I hate Notre Dame. I'm just trying to dig underneath Tom's skin. But, I want to be able to say those things, right? I couldn't imagine a world where I don't have my social media to be able to push my ideas. I know there's probably some people that would be like, you'd save us a lot of time. But, I mean, I don't have hundreds of thousands of followers. I'm not an influencer by any means, but it's nice to be able to have that social media aspect because I'm able to connect with so many people now. I have access to celebrities and athletes and all types of people, right? I can know what the president's thinking. And I wish I didn't know what the president was thinking sometimes, all right? You got to be able to separate it away from the company. But I understand, too, that it's tough to do that. When you work for a big company, you tweet something like that, and then, oh, because you have a tie with the country now, all of a sudden that country is going to say, well, you tweeted this, so now we don't want anything to do with you, right? And this is something we've talked about before. You have to be cautious with what you say, right? Antonio Brown tweets out things like crazy because of whatever's going on in his mind. And it's a concern. It is a concern. It is something you have to be very cautious about, because if you say the wrong thing, that means you might not have a job. You might not have a job. You have no idea what the outcome might be from this. None of us do. I don't think this is going to lead to war, but I do think this is going to certainly draw tensions within the NBA and within China itself, right? There is so much that can lead down to this. Now, obviously, there's one guy who a lot of people I've been kind of mentioning over the last couple of days because he's very upset with this, and that is Yao Ming. Probably the biggest star to ever come out of China and play in the NBA and play professional sports, to be honest, right? And that's a literal sense. I mean, the man was 6'7", like 300 pounds. He was a monster, and he was a great player. He's a legendary player, one of the greatest big men I think we could not of all time. I mean, not top 10, but certainly I put him up there. A great player. And now Adam Silver is trying to work with him to try and see if they can cool tensions with China to be able to find a way and a mode and a fashion that they can kind of put everything together. And Yao Ming's upset with this on multiple levels because obviously he doesn't want the NBA to be viewed as a villain, and he's upset with how Adam Silver's kind of acted on this with the whole pressing on freedom of speech and stuff. But here's the other thing about it too. He's also upset with, it seems, that the Chinese government is acting in this mode because certainly, you know, he's a big influence in the reason why basketball has certainly grown in China so much, and we've had so many great players now, right? I mean, he has been a huge factor in that, and I'd hate to lose that. The audience that has been there has been so loyal. They love basketball. To lose that from just a simple tweet would be awful. So I really hope this whole situation can be resolved very soon before things really do become even more extra, because I don't want to see it blow up even bigger, right? And for these politicians, this is where I get upset with this. This is where I get upset with this whole thing, because you've got politicians who get kind of caught up in this thing, in this whole situation, who are like making their statement on it, right? Like Ted Cruz and Julian Castro, and there's so many others that have made themselves known. So, you know, Ben Sassy, I think is his name. He said it was shameful, the NBA's responses. Julian Castro said, "Don't allow American citizens to be bullied by an authoritarian government." I mean, come on. And yeah, all these guys who want to say stuff, you're doing it for your own political career. You're not doing it for the better of anything. You're doing it for your own best benefit. Let's be honest. Oh, we want to better the country. I'm sure to some they do. But let's be real. There's probably a lot of these guys that are saying things probably for one reason or another, and one reason probably mainly, and that is to just help themselves in a presidential election or to further their careers in the Senate, whatever. I'm not a political guy, okay? I'm not going to get into that. But this whole situation is just blowing up. And it's probably going to continue to go up, and it's probably going to continue to be a big thing. I'm sure there's a way to fix it. I don't know exactly what it is. I'm hoping that pretty soon they can find a solution, but if not, well, here's to the hopeful future of what the NBA can do. I'm sure, though, Adam Silver can work with the NBA officials. They can work with the NBA officials that are within China. They can find a solution to all this, okay? I'm certain they can probably find a solution to all this. So my fingers are crossed. I'm hoping for the best, and I'm hoping that all good comes out of this. There's no more tensions or anything. So and that's all we can do right now is just hope and bring more information as it comes along. So here's to you, Adam Silver. Go forth and try to better what we can right now. All right, let's move to this one. So obviously away from the NBA, you've got the NFL going on. And here in Chicago, we had a little bit of a rough week. So if you don't know, the Bears played the Oakland Raiders this past Sunday in London, afternoon game. And unfortunately, it looked like the Bears maybe had the game in hand, and right there towards the end, Bears lost the game, right? 24-21 was the final score. Oakland Raiders win it. I mean, it was shocking, but I got to give it to the Raiders. I'm going to say right now they had a good game. Josh Jacobs is a real deal running back. You don't think he's a real deal running back? Ladies and gentlemen, get with the program. This guy was a first-round pick. And by the way, that was the Bears' first-round pick. That was it. I know, it kind of sucks. We got beat by the first-round pick we could have had, but he played well. 123 yards, 20 touchdowns. He had 3 catches for 20 yards. Pretty good. On the Bears side, Chase Daniels did fine. He played the same kind of game he had the week before, had more yardage. Threw 2 touchdowns, threw 2 interceptions. Certainly that was not good. He threw those interceptions, by the way, right to his guys. I mean, right to the defenders on both of them. But he didn't do too bad. Allen Robinson was my player of the game, 7 catches, 97 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, he played outstanding. He had a really good game. He is starting to show just how good he is as a wide receiver, right? Outside of Josh Jacobs, though, on the Raiders, Derek Carr had a pretty good game, 25 for 32, 229 yards. He didn't score anything. He just passed the ball really well. He threw it all over the field. He spread the ball out to about 9 or 10 different wide receivers, which was outstanding. I mean, he was on point. He was very good. And to be honest, I watched this game. I did. I watched this whole game. I watched everything that came out of this. Number one thing I was seeing from this team right off the bat, guys, I don't know if anybody knows this, but, let's put it as like a math question, right? So much like if a train leaves on this time, right? If Chicago leaves on a Thursday, what is the percentage chance that they're actually going to win the game? 0 to none. Okay, that was the bottom line. The reports were coming out that the Raiders, after their game on Sunday, left from the airport and went straight to London to get ready for the Bears. They got hooked up with a facility. They put themselves in a hotel. They got themselves, kind of ready for how the week's going to roll. Bears came in on Thursday. You're tired, you're groggy, you're still trying to get used to it, right? I mean, it's even though it's Thursday, it's like a 10, 12-hour flight, something like that, right? It's a long flight. By the time it's Sunday, you're still tired, you're still trying to get adjusted to the time, right? Some of your guys might have even woke up late, and it seemed like it because the defense was off. They found a way to shut down Khalil Mack. They found a way to shut down Roquan Smith. They found a way to shut down, right? They made all the guys ineffective. Akeem Hicks, yes, he got hurt, but that can't be a final factor in this. You still had like 95% of that really good defense out there, and the Raiders picked them apart. They picked them apart. We got to be honest. The Raiders did everything they were supposed to do, and they took apart the Bears. The first drive, what did the Raiders do? Well, it's very easy. The Raiders come out blasting. They say, no huddle. That's John Gruden's call. We're going to go in a no huddle, and we're just going to run that ball down their throat, right? And then you can see Derek Carr's darting passes here and there. He's going left and right? Handing it off. Josh Jacobs running up the middle. Yeah, he's powering through. That first drive showed every bit why it pays to get there on time. The Raiders just came out and punched the Bears right in the mouth and said, "What do you got?" Bears tried to answer back, but unfortunately they had too many mistakes. They had way too many mistakes. First off, the ground game couldn't get going. I mean, David Montgomery had that nice little touchdown in the red zone. That was fine. He had a pretty good run a couple times there. I mean, this was a throwing game, and Chase Daniel looked like he was in it, but Derek Carr was winning the fight. Josh Jacobs ran over the Bears' defense. Every cut he made, every move he made, it was on point. So for that drive that the Oakland Raiders opened it up with, that was the smart thing to do. That was the smart thing to do. That's the right way to go about it. Start it off, right off the bat, come at the team, punch him in the mouth. That's the way to make this happen. That is the way to make this happen. Excuse me. I don't know what now, because now we have to say something has to happen, right? We've seen Chase Daniel. We know what he is. If you're wondering if Chase Daniel could replace Mitch Trubisky, the answer is no. Trubisky's still a better quarterback. Daniel is very much like the relief pitcher that comes in the third inning. You take him all the way to like the eighth inning, and then you bring in the closer, right? That kind of thing. Or in this case, you're at least leaving him all the way to the ninth, maybe. I don't know. However you want to play it. He's not a starter, right? He's very much the coach on the sideline. He's a very smart quarterback. He knows he's going to be a good quarterback coach, maybe a pretty decent offensive coordinator at one point when he retires and decides if he maybe wants to become a coach. I would be certainly okay with that. But as a quarterback on the field, I mean, he does a decent job, but he's not the same guy he was once before. At one point, he was being seen to be Drew Brees' heir to the throne. 6 feet tall, 220 pounds, a little bit thicker than Drew Brees, but ran the same sort of offense that Brees was running in New Orleans with Sean Payton when he came into the league, when he was playing at Missouri. Put up some really good numbers, right? But he never developed into that guy. But he knew Nagy's system, so got to bring him along. I mean, there's some polls out there that say now, who do you want to be your starting quarterback? A lot of the polls I've seen, by a large margin, have said, yeah, give Tyler Bray a shot. How bad could he be? I mean, we're not doing pretty well right now. We're winning games, but we're just barely winning games. This is 06 all over again. This is defense carrying the team and very small pieces of the offense coming to fruition. Okay? Limited passing, some decent running, although in this case the running game doesn't seem to be going at all. And the defense is just carrying the way. And you can see what happens. Now you go to another country, you're calling on your defense to be there. Well, they're on the field all this time. Raiders have great possession of the ball, great possession of time. How else do you think this game's going to go? I mean, really, the Raiders outmatched them in time of possession. 34 minutes holding the ball. Bears only had it for 25 minutes. That's not good. That's not good. That's not doable. That is tough. That is rough and tough stuff. So now the Bears got a bye week, right? The Bears got a bye week. Now you have to make a choice, right? Bears are 3-2 right now on the year. It is time to get serious. Big moves have got to be made. Things have got to be changed. Biggest important parts, whoever's hurt, got to get them healthy. They got to get healthy, right? Got to shake up the offense a little bit. Find out what works. Find some sort of ground and air attack that's going to work. Find a balance between the two of them. David Montgomery looks like he could be a really good running back if you just give him some blocking. Figure out that offensive line issue right now, because that has been one of the weakest parts of this offense right now. Receiving core looks good, right? Taylor Gabriel looks fine when he's healthy. Allen Robinson's playing like a top receiver like he should be. Anthony Miller's been really good coming out of the slot, and pretty soon he should be moving into that number 2 position as a wide receiver. But you got to figure out that offensive line. You just paid Cody Whitehair a lot of money, and you haven't given him, and he hasn't blocked for you since. James Daniels keeps getting seems like he keeps getting the schemes mixed up, which is weird because last year he did a really good job, right? Bobby Massey can't set the edge to save his life. He's one of the worst right tackles in the game right now, and that's the truth. He's one of the worst right tackles right now in the NFL. Can't trust him. Can't play with him. Can't win with him. That's for sure. Other thing is you got to figure out what's up with the tight ends. Right? I know Trey Burton's not 100%. But Adam Shaheen, for some reason, red zone, you're right there. 6'6", and you're not throwing him the ball? Can he not catch? I thought we drafted him because he can catch. I mean, put him at fullback. Give him the ball. 6'6", he can't dive over the line and get in the end zone? He was supposed to be like a Gronk light, I thought. Like a Bud Light, but he's like Gronk light, you know? I just don't know. Find your tight end. Or eliminate the tight end. Go 4 wide if that's the way you feel. You got Javon Wims. He's a really good wide receiver if you give him a shot. Seriously, think about it. Eliminate him. Just go 4 wide. Food for thought, man. Commit to a running back, too. I understand you want to run Tariq Cohen, but everybody kind of knows what you're doing with him. He's a little bit of a gadget guy. It's good to have that speed combined with that balance of power. But at this point, let's be honest, David Montgomery, 3rd overall pick. He's been showing a lot as a running back. Get him the ball. Get him the ball. Get him his opportunities. Let him run. Give him his carries. Let's see what he can do. And on the goal line, give it to Mike Davis. I don't know, but give Montgomery majority of the carries. Give Cohen 10, 15 carries. Give Montgomery 20, 25 carries. Mike Davis might get 3 or 4. Stop running Cordell Patterson, for God's sakes. Unless you're going to make him a running back, stop running the guy. Go 4 wide. And also, too, start fixing a few things on the defense as well. I know this defense is really good, but there's some things that need to be really fixed up. Figure out what's going on with Leonard Floyd, because he's not playing like himself. Danny Trevathan's making plays. Roquan Smith, I know he had his whole thing with the psychiatric stuff. He seemed to play fine. He had 9 tackles. But you've got to kind of look at your defense and say, okay, maybe we got to shake some things up. Retool a few things, okay? I don't know. But it's going to be interesting. You got a whole bye week. Figure out what's going on with the team. Figure out what changes have to be done. It's week 5. We should not have these problems. If we are a playoff team, which I believe we are, we should still be able to finish this season 11-5, 10-6. Packers right now are leading the division. Lions are in 2nd. We are in 3rd. We should be able to overshoot the Lions and possibly find a way to maybe even compete with the Packers. I was hoping by this second game against the Packers, I know that's still a ways away, but by this point we would kind of have everything clicking. So by that point we would be able to compete with the Packers, and that would be the deciding factor on who wins the division. Now I just have no clue. All right, well, when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking here, obviously, NFL Week 5. We're going to be giving you guys a quick review of what went down, as usual. And, of course, we got baseball talk. No, it's not the playoffs, but it's something a little bit more because something's going down in Oakland, and it's getting very, very interesting. Could really be heating up and could lead to some future changes, maybe, in Major League Baseball. We'll be talking all that and more right here on the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Man, are you still working out? It's like 1,000 degrees.
Intense heat is nothing. To get an intense workout, you gotta be intense.
Our friend here is getting an intense workout with the intense cool of his Hydrotech Cool Breeze shoes.
Which brings your feet a cooling sensation that is the best on the market today. Can only be explained with one word:
Intense!
Whether you're working out hard or just taking a stroll, these shoes have got your back. Or I should say, your feet.
Aren't these shoes intense?
Maybe a little too intense, but there's no doubt they're cool.
Throughout the 1960s, 70s, and 80s, Judy Finelli established herself as a masterful juggler and performer, making appearances everywhere from Carnegie Hall to Sesame Street. With her loving heart, she has brought warm smiles to children everywhere she has performed. She even started the San Francisco School for the Circus Arts, but shortly after, she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and by 2004, she was completely paralyzed. In celebration of her accomplishments and to fight the illness that had crippled Judy, a group of students from the San Francisco Clown College have compiled the perfect holiday present for those who want to laugh and to help those struggling with the illness. The goal has been set at $1 million raised, with 100% of any dollar made to be donated to the Judy Finelli Fund, which is helping find a cure to multiple sclerosis. Visit www.circuscenter.org to make a donation or to purchase a framed naked clown photo or the full Naked Clown 12-month calendar. Remember, 100% of every dollar is donated and goes to fighting MS.
And welcome back, everybody, here to the X1 Sports Live Show. Yes, I'm still your host, Mr. Andrew Valentin. Yes, I am still alone up here, unfortunately. These guys are not here with me. Tyler is, again, off seeking into the mountains of the Himalayas. He is trying to find a lost treasure of Atlantis or whatever. I don't know, something like that. Tom, meanwhile, is trying to learn how to fly, much like the Wright brothers, but he's only using a wingsuit, believe it or not, and it's made of actual feathers, so best of luck to him. And Jake Bradley right now, I'm not sure exactly where he is at. He's kind of missing person unknown at this point. But, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're ready for another one. We just recently talked about the Bears, and, of course, we talked a little bit on the NBA China situation. And now we're kicking off this second half of this one. It's NFL Week 5, Sunday and Monday and review. I can't do an echo, but close enough. So yeah, as we always do a preview of it on Saturdays, which, you know, is the usual. We give our preview kind of talk on that. And then on Wednesdays, we always do our review of the week. So we already did the Bears, and as far as the Thursday review went, just to revamp for you guys who didn't catch our last Saturday show, the whole Rams-Seahawks game, I said Russell Wilson is the real deal. That guy is the 100% absolute best quarterback right now in the NFL. No doubt about it. If he's not the front runner for MVP, I know people are saying Christian McCaffrey is, but I think it's going to go to a QB, and I certainly think that a guy like Russell Westbrook at this point is well deserving of it. So, Seahawks right now look like they're going to be they're going to be a nightmare to deal with in the NFC. That's for sure. All right, but moving on with the rest of it, let's kick it off, and we're starting it off with Cardinals 26, Cincinnati Bengals 23. Pretty impressive, I got to say. Kyler Murray got his first win, which was pretty cool. He didn't throw for a touchdown. He only ran for one. 20 for 32, 253 yards passing, 10 carries for 93 yards. Had a really nice run into the end zone. That was a really nice touchdown run he had. Got to give it to him, though. But the Cardinals still need an offensive line. I mean, look, it's great that he's running the ball. Don't get me wrong. That's fantastic. But your quarterback should not be your leading rusher. Right, you definitely need to make sure David Johnson's your guy if that's the way you're going, right? So, you know, for the Cardinals, it's a nice win, but at the same time, I need to see – I think Arizona's going in the right path. We just need to see more protection for Kyler Murray, and that'll come with a few more years of drafting. Bengals, meanwhile, I still give it to Andy Dalton. He didn't play too bad. He wasn't horrible. Tyler Boyd had a really good game, 10 catches for 123 yards and a touchdown. So the Bengals, look, I know they're on 5. They're not playing very well, but, I mean, the future's still there, right? And if A.J. Green can finally get back to the Bengals healthy and 100%, I think the Bengals will at least be able – I think they can at least still get themselves to like a 6-10, 5-11 spot, which isn't too bad, you know. So, but good on the Cardinals. Congratulations on Kyler Murray for getting his first win. All right, next. We got Buffalo Bills 14, Tennessee Titans 7. Josh Allen, man, he continues to prove people just how good of a quarterback he is. This one, he ran the ball 10 times, but he only ran for 27 yards, so he's still running a little bit too much. I know 10 carries doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're a quarterback, that's a beating you're taking. But passing, he's really becoming a very efficient passer, 23 of 32, 219 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception. He played a really good game. He had a really good game. John Brown had a really good game too, 5 catches for 75 yards. I mean, Josh Allen is really, really starting to pick up the pace in his production, and the Bills, they're 4-1 right now. They're 4-1. They're right behind the Patriots. They're going to be there in the playoffs, it looks like, and Josh Allen's a big reason for it. Tennessee Titans, I mean, it kind of looked like I fudged up the yardage a little bit there on Derrick Henry. He had 78 yards. That's my mistake. 78 yards and a touchdown. He had the only touchdown of the game. I mean, look, Marcus Mariota, you've done your best at this point. I know he hasn't thrown a pick, but it's getting ridiculous at this point. He's still making bad throws. He's still trying to do way too much. I don't know what Mike Vrabel is allowing his offensive coordinator to do, but it's getting ugly, and I would really recommend that Tennessee give maybe Tannehill a fair shake at this to kind of see if they can end out the season in some regards of being respectful. I'd say maybe give Mariota one more game. You give him one more game. If he can't do it, go with Brian Tannehill. Let's see what he can do, okay? Next. All right, next we've got New Orleans Saints, 31, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 24. Teddy Bridgewater. Is he a starting quarterback? I have no idea. A lot of people would say after this game, oh, yeah, he's a starting quarterback. 100%. 4 touchdowns, only 1 interception. It's not bad. 314 yards. I mean, Michael Thomas, 11 catches, 182 yards, 2 touchdowns. Pretty good. That's pretty good. I don't know if he's a starting quarterback, though. I still don't. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's proving why he was a first-round talent, right? I think Minnesota definitely pulled the cord on this one a little bit too soon. But because you got to think, Teddy Bridgewater in Minnesota right now, way he's throwing the ball, you give him Adam Thielen, you give him Stephon Diggs, and Kyle Rudolph, and Dalvin Cook. Man, what could Minnesota be right now? Minnesota looks like they just made an $84 million mistake. You really did. Honestly, Saints, they're 4-1 right now, leading the division. Tampa Bay, I mean, look, Jameis Winston, you can try and convince me all you want. I'm still not convinced this guy's a good quarterback. Maybe he is, and I feel like after this season, Tampa's going to give him an extension. They're going to give him a lot of money, and then he's just going to be terrible. But I think he's really good. Why? Because Mike Evans is really talented. And, of course, this guy, Chris Godwin, I don't know where he's come from. I mean, I know where he's come from, but he's really exploding on the scene. 7 catches, 125 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's becoming a machine of a wide receiver. Really like this guy. Hopefully Tampa will consider drafting another quarterback because I really think this Jameis Winston thing is going to fall off the tracks real soon. All right, next. Minnesota Vikings, 28. New York Giants, 10. This was the game that everybody wanted to see from Kirk Cousins, right? 22 of 27, 306 yards, 2 touchdowns. Adam Thielen, I thought he was player of the game. 7 catches, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. Feels like everything's definitely on the fun side, right? I mean, Dalvin Cook, 21 carries for 132 yards, didn't score a touchdown. But everything feels like it's definitely on the up and up with this team, right? It feels like the Vikings might actually have a chance to be able to roll into this. I mean, right now the NFC North it's a tight lock, right? It feels like the Packers are above here and everybody else is down here, but it's a pretty tight packed system right now. Everybody is just one wrong injury, one wrong play away from potentially being at the bottom. So I'm still not convinced either that the Vikings are done with this. I think there's more drama to come. Because just a little bit from Kirk Cousins is nice, but I think there's more stuff that's going to come from this. This doesn't prove he's a top 10 quarterback. This is just a nice game. And Daniel Jones, I'll give it to the guy. He managed the game well. He didn't do fantastic. The Giants certainly are doing things without Saquon Barkley. It hurts, right? They don't have a good defense. But for what Daniel Jones is doing by himself, I give him credit. He's doing what he can. And we'll see what he can do tomorrow because he's got to play the Patriots, and that is not going to be easy. It's going to be interesting, though. Eli knows that team better than anybody else because he's 2-0 against them in the postseason, in the Super Bowl. See if Daniel Jones can live up to the hype because I guarantee that's what a lot of people are putting on him. All right, next. Philadelphia Eagles 31, Jets 6. Oh, my God. Carson Wentz didn't even throw for 200 yards. He threw for 189 yards, and he only threw 1 touchdown. The only thing I could highlight for the Jets is, hey, at least Sam Darnold's coming back. Because you can't really give it to Le'Veon Bell. He played terrible. You can't really give it to anybody on that team. At least Sam Darnold's coming back. He's been cleared to play. They said he should be good for Sunday. Thank God we got our player back. Because it seems like when he's not there, everything's out of sync. Everything's out of whack. I have never seen it get this bad when you have that much talent. They did so much upgrading. C.J. Mosley, Le'Veon Bell, getting him wide receiver help, getting him offensive line help. They did so much. Sam Darnold goes down. Season's lost. Jesus. Give it to the Eagles, man. They played really well. And the defense was outstanding. I mean, that's all I can say. Eagles dominated on every level. Great job. Great job by them. All right, next. Baltimore 26, Pittsburgh 23. This was probably the most unimpressive win I have ever seen from the Baltimore Ravens. I couldn't even give it to Lamar Jackson as a player of a game. I gave it to Justin Tucker. Went 4 for 4 on field goals. He hit a 48-yarder, which was easy for him because he does it on an average. And he hit 2 extra points on those, of course. Had 14 points in total. For the Steelers, I mean, Mason Rudolph, he's playing way too conservative. I don't know what's going on with Mike Tomlin, I don't know what's going on with him. He just feels like he doesn't trust Mason Rudolph to make the throws down the field. I mean, he made some good throws to Juju Smith-Schuster. 7 carries, 75 yards, and a touchdown. That's fantastic. But, man, it just felt like it was way off. It felt way off. I mean, I give it to Juju Smith-Schuster as the player of the game, but, I mean, geez, these Steelers feel like they're going on a downward spiral, and it's all because Big Ben's out. That's a problem. That's a big problem. I don't like that at all one bit. I don't like that at all one bit. It's this is going to be a growing concern as time moves forward. So, but good on the Baltimore Ravens to be able to win it. Keep yourselves in the hunt for the division. All right, next. Yeah, New England 33, Washington Redskins 7. Now, if you guys hadn't seen Sports After Dark, and I'm sure at some point that you might, our own Colin Wegley had a chance to be able to talk about this with our own Steve Muehlhausen. And as they were reiterating too, and as everybody should kind of take note on, yeah, this game was tight. It was 9-7 at one point. It was, in fact, 9-7. And I'm sure Daniel Snyder was sitting up in his box going, yay, we're in the game. We're in the game. It's halftime. We're only down on 9-7. And then the Patriots open it up, and they absolutely destroy them. Tom Brady, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 348 yards. Absolutely wrecked shop. Colt McCoy, I get it. He's a pretty decent backup when he has been in the past, but he's clearly aging out of this. I gave it to Sims. You're saying, who the heck is Sims? He's a receiver. He had the only touchdown for the Redskins, and he made them look like they could actually have a chance. He ran 65 yards for a touchdown, and it was a really nice run. It was a wide receiver end around. Nothing too impressive. The Patriots have, by far, the best team going right now. They have the best offense. Well, let me scratch that. They have a functioning offense that works very well. Passing, running, everything seems to be going at a very functional level. Defensively, they're shutting down everybody. They are shutting down everybody. It's going to be interesting to see what happens on Thursday, that's for sure. Okay, next. Panthers 34, Jaguars 27. Gardner Minshew, I think, is the real deal. Gonna say that right now. I'm not just saying that because the guy's fun. He's a lot of fun. The guy's interesting. I like him a lot. He doesn't just make football fun. I think he is the real deal. I think he's a real quarterback. I mean, look, 26 of 44, 374 yards, 2 touchdowns. That sounds like a real quarterback. He's doing that all, by the way, without an elite receiver. I mean, DJ Clark, okay, DJ Clark is actually starting to step it up a little bit as an elite wide receiver. But, Jesus, the guy's on fire. Absolutely on fire. I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic. I'm in shock. I'm absolutely in shock on it. On the other side, obviously, look, Christian McCaffrey, right? Everybody's saying right now he's the front runner for the MVP. Everybody's saying he should get the MVP. 19 carries with 8 receptions. He had 237 total yards. He ran for 176 yards. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. He caught another pass for a touchdown, and so he had 61 yards receiving. I mean, this guy is the weapon, the ultimate weapon. This guy has surpassed. I called him out a long time ago when he got drafted, and I said they should turn him into a wide receiver. I thought that's the way it goes. Nope. Oh, he's a really the real deal running back, but he's a real deal running back for right now. I am scared to death, though, that the Panthers are going to run this guy into the ground. Cam Newton's getting older, and he's not looking very good right now. Kyle Allen's not a bad quarterback, but I don't think he's the future quarterback for this team just yet. He still has to prove that, right? Christian McCaffrey's carrying this team the best way he can. His back is breaking, though. He is going to fall apart, and that is my fear, is that he is going to fall to pieces. And that is because the Panthers are going to play him that much. So I'm really hoping that the Panthers can find a way to get that passing game going. Because if you keep running this kid, if you keep throwing him the ball, at some point he's going to get hit. And that hit might be the end. I don't want to see that happen. I want to see this guy continue to be the best player he is. Because right now, he's one of the elite running backs. He's got more yards from scrimmage than I think the Jets, they said. The Jets and somebody else combined. That's how crazy good this guy is. It's insane. Panthers. I'm not fooled by the Panthers, though. I don't think they're this good. But I think they're this good because this kid is killing it right now. So, good on the Panthers, and more so good on Christian McCaffrey. But still, again, I don't think he's going to win MVP. Just being honest. All right, next. Houston Texans 53, Atlanta Falcons 32. Wow. Yeah, Matt Ryan had a really good game, but Deshaun Watson, 28 of 33, 426 yards, 5 touchdowns. If you had him on your fantasy team, you had a field day. But if you had Will Fuller the fifth, you also had a field day. Right, Tom McKinney? My co-host definitely had him on his fantasy team. Guy put up numbers, 14 catches, 217 yards, 3 touchdowns. He burned everyone. Everyone. Nobody stood a chance against this guy. I don't think this means he's becoming an elite receiver. I do think, though, this says that this guy has a lot of potential stepping up. I think this is putting him more towards the level of good, going into that zone of possibly hitting great at some point. He's a really good wide receiver. He was at Notre Dame. He is with the Houston Texans, right? Especially when DeAndre Hopkins is getting double-teamed. It's nice to have the guy that can hit the go route, the post, very fast, very quickly, runs clean routes. Like it a lot. All right, so I mean it's a talent. So, but next. All right, Denver Broncos 20, Los Angeles Rams 13. This was a hard game to watch if you were able to watch it. I kind of caught the glimpses of the game. Look, Chargers did not play very well. Phillip Rivers threw 2 interceptions. I was not impressed with the game at all. Philip Lindsay, I was very proud he was able to have the game he did. I like Philip Lindsay a lot. I like that story of the undrafted guy that comes in and just completely shows his will and skill. Philip Lindsay's that guy, 114 yards and a touchdown. Really, really good play coming from him. Austin Eckler, yeah, he didn't really run the ball a lot, and he fumbled, of course, too. He had the fumble. 15 receptions, though, for 86 yards. He led the team in receiving. I know that's not exactly something you want to hear, but that's not bad for a running back. And I know they're trying to get the ball in the hands of Melvin Gordon now, right? They're trying to work Melvin Gordon into the game plan now. But don't lose Austin Eckler in this. I'm telling the Chargers right now, find a way to split the time on these guys, right? I know it's going to be one of those things where, okay, if Austin Eckler's in, it's going to be a pass, right? Or if Melvin Gordon's in, they're going to run the ball. But honestly, both of these guys have an ability to run and catch the ball. But Austin Eckler's a little bit better at catching, and Melvin Gordon's a little bit better at running. So obviously, teams are going to find out what you're going to do with them. But this was an ugly game. I don't think a lot of people were watching it, and if you did, you probably fell asleep at some point. All right, next. The big matchup. Yes, Green Bay 34, Dallas Cowboys 24. Cowboys are now 3-2. Packers now moved to 4-1. Aaron Jones, I'm still not convinced he's a great running back, but I will say behind that Packers offensive line and with Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback, he does some great things. No running back has ever run for 4 touchdowns on the Dallas Cowboys. Aaron Jones is the first. Again, I'm not convinced this guy is anything special on the level of an elite running back. I think he's talented. I think he's pretty good. I won't say great, and I can't say elite. But I think he's talented. 4 touchdowns, though, is nothing to shy away from. Very good game for Aaron Jones. On the other side, obviously, Dak Prescott, he threw too many interceptions. What is it, 3 interceptions? Yeah, 3 interceptions. You can't do that. You can't do that. Now, this defense, though, has done a great job. And I don't think that takes anything away from Dak Prescott. It was certainly not a great game. He still threw 2 touchdowns. He helped to try and keep the Cowboys in the game. A little too late, though, unfortunately. I mean, this team was rocking and rolling. But Amari Cooper, 11 catches, 226 yards, a touchdown. He's a top receiver. And that's the way he should be playing. And that was a really good game by him. So, but good on the Packers. Wish I wouldn't have to say that, but they won that game. All right, next. Yes, the other big game. Indianapolis Colts 19, Kansas City Chiefs 13. Shock of the year. Shock of the year. I didn't think the Colts were going to pull this one off, to be honest. I thought Patrick Mahomes was going to take advantage of the Colts defense because of his defensive backs. Not exactly at their highest point, but for some reason, seemed like Sammy Watkins wasn't playing at 100%. Obviously, Tyreek Hill's not back yet. Demarcus Robinson was kind of taken out of the game a lot. And Travis Kelce was being tracked down every which way. They didn't put LaShawn McCoy in the game that much because obviously he's had problems with pass rushing. And the Colts put on a pass rushing display that I think Patrick Mahomes hasn't seen just yet. Outside of maybe like the Lions, I would say. But 22 for 39 for Patrick Mahomes, 321 yards, threw only 1 touchdown, unfortunately. And for the rest of the game, they kept him silent. Marlon Mack, really good running back. Again, really good running back going into really good. Not great, not elite, but he's good. 132 rushing yards on 29 carries, 3 catches for 16 yards. Look, and you want to, if you guys are interested in knowing this, how did the Colts beat the Kansas City Chiefs? Very simple. You keep Patrick Mahomes on the sidelines. That's how you do it. That's how you do it, folks. You keep Patrick Mahomes on the sidelines, you're going to win the game. They had like 36 minutes of time of possession. It was outstanding. Outstanding. Great job there. And last but not least, 49ers. San Francisco 49ers 31, Cleveland Browns 3. I don't know what's up with the Cleveland Browns, but something's got to change. You traded Kevin Zeitler, and this is the type of offensive line that you got right now. You have no pass protection for your quarterback. He's running for his life scared. I don't know what else you can do at this point. Jimmy Garoppolo played really well. I got to give it to him. I still don't know if he's the elite quarterback for the NFL, but he's certainly playing in a sufficient manner that's getting the job done. And he did this on Monday Night Football, right? Give it to Matt Breida. Give it to Tevin Coleman. Combined, they had 27 carries for 211 yards and 3 total touchdowns. Breida had a rushing one. Coleman had a great rushing one. And then Breida even caught another touchdown, right? I couldn't give player of the game to Baker Mayfield. He didn't play well. I gave it to Chubb. I gave it to Chubb. Mayfield only had like 100 yards passing, 8 for 22, 2 interceptions, and they were bad. I don't know what's going on with this kid. But remember this. You said you liked Freddie Kitchens. And John Dorsey said, yeah, we'll go with that. You made the decision. You called him and said, I like you as your head coach. You did that. You did this to the Browns. I'm not putting it all on Baker, but he made the call to say Freddie Kitchens should be the head coach. It really all falls now on John Dorsey. Because you hired Freddie Kitchens. You were the GM who said, I'm going to listen to my young quarterback who's just entered the league and had 1 year with an interim coaching system. Smart move? I don't know. But it's the move you made, and it's the move you're going to have to live and die by, unless I'm pretty sure at some point you're going to fire him, right? Because obviously, like the Redskins did, they fired Jay Gruden, and they think Billy Callahan's going to somehow carry the Redskins throughout the rest of the season. You are out of your mind. It's going to get uglier in Cleveland before it gets any better. That's all I can say on that. So that is your Week 5, ladies and gentlemen, review. So I hope you guys have enjoyed that. If you guys got any comments, obviously, on any of the stuff that we talked about, be it Bears, be it Week 5 review, be it the NBA and China situation, of course, comment down below. Let us know what you guys think about it. All right, let's shift into our final talk here. Now, I kind of mentioned that there's some stuff going down in Oakland, but no, it's got nothing to do with the Raiders here, ladies and gentlemen. This has to do with the A's, and I know you're reading what you think you're reading right now, right? Las Vegas Athletics? Sounds crazy, right? Well, our own Mr. Rob Manfred made this threat. It was a threat. Major League Baseball's commissioner told the city officials that team could move to Las Vegas for the lawsuit that is currently out there if it's not dropped. Now, I know what everyone's saying. What are you talking about? What's going on right now in Oakland? What are you talking about? So here's the situation. So if you guys don't know, in Oakland, there's the city of Oakland and Alameda County. Both own a part of the team. They own shares of the team, right? Now, Alameda County is wanting to they share ownership of the stadium. And Alameda County basically wants to sell its half of the stadium to the A's, right? And the A's are right now pushing an offer of $85 million out there that the city of Oakland cannot afford. So the city of Oakland is now put together a lawsuit and is now suing Alameda County for to stop the buy, basically, right? $85 million sale is being pushed and to the A's, and the city of Oakland is like, no, don't sell to the A's, sell to us, sell to the city. But the A's can offer more money. The city can't. Oakland's a big poppin' place, don't get me wrong, but the reason why Oakland is so popular now, I'm not trying to diss Oakland, but let's be realistic here. The Oakland-San Francisco Bay Area is combined as one and has become one of the more popular areas, certainly because of the tech boom. And, of course, now you have a lot of television stations starting to put themselves out there, and media companies, certainly, with Google and Facebook and all that kind of stuff, right? All of them are out there, so media is really trying to strive there, right? Now, a big part about this to understand is that when Manfred said Las Vegas, because he mentioned that they could relocate to Vegas, he just dropped it as a name. A lot of people are thinking, well, he dropped it because obviously the Raiders are moving from Oakland to Vegas. So he made that threat by saying, look, if we don't get this resolved and you don't drop the lawsuit, they could go to Vegas. And he kind of just dropped the name. But it kind of feels like it was a little bit premeditated, right? He's just taking a little dig at Oakland, right? Just got to nail that one in, right? But what he's saying, is true in theory. Because, believe it or not, Vegas is looking for other open opportunities, right? You have a hockey team there. You're going to get a football team in there soon. And they're also looking now to potentially put in a baseball stadium. They want to get a baseball team in there, and they're open to opportunities. They're hoping that maybe the Rays or the Marlins might be able to open up. But who knows? If Oakland is willing to do it, it's possible. If Vegas makes a good enough pitch, it could happen. But here's the thing, though. The word is that the A's are looking to get to the new stadium that's near the waterfront. This is near the Howard Terminal, I believe it is. It's near the waterfront. The built designs for it look beautiful. So Oakland is suing Alameda County to block the sale of their share of the stadium so that they can have this sort of control over the stadium still, and they don't have to worry about this thing getting torn down. Because that's the deal. The A's want to tear it down and have it, brush away the dust, and then basically say, okay, now we're going to incorporate this area with, I believe they're looking to do like housing and stuff, which is really good. I think it's a really good idea. But Oakland doesn't like it, and they want to keep the stadium around so they have some sort of revenue stride and control, whereas Alameda County is kind of like, look, it's not just you, Oakland, we have to worry about. We have more that we have to look at. We have to dig deeper into this, and we have to take into consideration everybody, right? Everybody's going to be infected by this some way in that Bay Area. A's just want to get a new stadium in there. That's all it is. A's just want a new stadium. And they deserve one. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, the Coliseum is falling apart. I've heard the stories of center field. There's pieces of cinder block falling from the sky. There's cracks in the staircases. And when you step on them, they move. That's dangerous. That's not safe. That stadium has been through a lot, I understand, but at some point you do have to revamp. That's why Al Davis wanted to keep moving out of the Coliseum. He was so sick of the fact that you're not helping me. I need to go somewhere bigger. I need to go somewhere better. I'm going to go to Las Vegas. And then he moves back to Oakland because he knows the situation there. And he was also, from what I understand, there were promises that were being made that said, oh, yeah, we're going to renovate the Coliseum, and it's going to look so nice. And then they never did. And then it was just what it was. It sucks. But that's the way this one's going to fall. I think that eventually Alameda County, right now there's a hold being put on it by the judge. I think at some point Alameda County is going to get its pay. Everybody's going to be like, well, it happened. Gotta get paid. Gotta do something, man. It's going to hurt Oakland, certainly. But they need a new stadium. The A's need a new stadium. The Raiders are leaving. You got to do something for that ballpark, right? You got to do something for that ballpark. It is falling apart. Fans hate it. Players don't like it. It's a mess. I hope they can get this resolved because I would really like to see this new stadium. The designs look beautiful. And I'm a big fan of waterfront ballparks. I think those are cool. I like those a lot. There's something about it, right? And it makes more sense in California because here in Chicago it's cold and it sucks. Right? You go to Soldier Field, the wind's kicking off that lake. Yeah, it's an advantage to the players, but you're freezing, you're what's off, you're bundled up looking like an Eskimo out there. It's not even snowing, and you're in your hosers, and you got your big jackets on. I'm talking like a Chicagoan now, but you're packed up. It sucks. California, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I love it. I love the idea. Hopefully this whole thing can get resolved, and hopefully everybody can walk away winners. Get new homes in Oakland. Alameda County gets some more money, some more revenue for the county, which is great because they need a little bit more help. So this way they can build more to their system. And for the A's, get a new ballpark. How cool is that? Everybody wins. In some regard, everybody wins. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have enjoyed this show. This was fun. This was a lot of fun. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, before we get out of here. I forgot to change the date. One more time before we get out of here. It's fine. I want to say really quickly, give it up, everybody, for Colin Wegley again. Make sure to give him some love, ladies and gentlemen. He did a fantastic. Colin, great job, man. Absolutely great job. Loved it, baby. Loved it. Make sure to go give Colin Wegley a lot of love, ladies and gentlemen. He did a fantastic job. First time ever producing this show. Amazing, dude. Really, 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 really proud of you. Being the teacher that I am for this class now, I'm very proud. But ladies and gentlemen, of course, if you guys want to find us on Twitter or on Instagram, we are at Team X Bomb Sports. Make sure to go follow us there. We're always posting new things about the show, new videos, new pictures, all that stuff. I know we're kind of behind on that stuff. We're going to start kicking it up a little bit more. We're going to start revamping things up a little bit. Hopefully, people will be back for the show, and then we'll get some more contributions from that. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, too. Facebook.com/Team X Bomb Sports. At Team X Bomb Sports on Facebook. You guys can find us. Seasons 1 and 2 are there if you guys are interested in seeing how we started from where we are to where we are now. Obviously, as I said before in the last show on Saturday, we might be moving back to that old stadium. Make sure to go check them out there. And, of course, make sure, guys, to go check out Putting Up Points. That's our radio show. It's hosted by Jake Bradley and Tyler Prickett, our two guys. Our usual producer, Jake Bradley, is one of the hosts on that show, as well as the other host being Tyler Prickett. Those guys are always on Saturdays from 12 to 2. Hopefully those guys will be on next Saturday because, unfortunately, this Saturday, this studio will be closed. We will not be going on this Saturday, so there will be no preview for Week 6, unfortunately, so we'll just be jumping into a review for next Wednesday. But I hope you guys will obviously go listen to the show when they're on. So every Saturday from 12 to 2, sportstownchicago.com. Again, not this Saturday, but hopefully the next Saturday and so on after that we'll be rolling. And if not them, then me and Tom will probably be on the show a little bit more often, obviously. And, of course, to subscribe here to the YouTube page, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe to X-Bomb Productions. We really want to hear from you guys a lot more. We want to get – I've been getting your emails, obviously, too, from XBP Official. So if you guys – at gmail.com if you guys want to send us those emails and questions and comments and everything. That's XBP Official, no I between the F and the C because I screwed that up, at gmail.com. So if you guys want to send us those there. Again, subscribe here to the YouTube page, all that good stuff. And you guys want to follow me on Twitter. Pointing the wrong way. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, there it is. It is at the Fluffy Guru. I am on Twitter. If you guys want to find me on Instagram, I am the Boom Crew Captain. I am Boom Crew Captain on Instagram. You guys can find me personally myself, where I post up just funny memes and pictures and stuff like that of what's going on in my daily life. So you guys can find me on there. And that is going to do it for us here, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have enjoyed this. We're again going to be out for the weekend. So no show on Saturday, but we will see you guys next week on Wednesday and Saturday. Next week, Saturday and Wednesday. So back on our regular time, hopefully, if everybody can be here, of course. But once again, give it up for Colin Wegley again, guys. First-time producer. Great job really great job, dude. It was awesome. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching, and much love, and peace out, Boom Crew.